River Raid is an early vertical shooter for the Atari 2600 released by Activision in 1982. The object of the game is to shoot down enemies and score as many points as possible. The large tankers are worth 30 points, helicopters are 60, fuel depots are 80, and jets are 100. The bridge at the end of each stage is worth a full 500 points. Things are easier said than done, however, as you have to manage your onboard fuel supply. As you fly, the fuel gauge at the bottom of the screen will quickly deplete. Once the fuel runs out, you lose a life. You are only given 3 lives, but an additional one is given with each 10,000 points scored. River Raid then becomes a balancing act of deciding when to try and grab fuel and when to go for points. This creates even more problems as the enemy placement doesn't necessarily make it easy to grab some of the elusive fuel. In addition to left and right movement, you can accelerate and decelerate to try and outmaneuver your foes. This also allows you to stay over a fuel depot longer. There isn't much to talk about in the control department. Moving left and right, along with acceleration, is responsive. The graphics are also appealing, using a bright color palette rather than a black background with drab colors. I presume the blue is the river, but it's not really clear why I can't touch the green. Perhaps the game is making a social statement on civilian casualties during military airstrikes. Or perhaps not. River Raid's sound effects are obviously basic, but the roar of the jet engine does change pitch depending on your speed, and there is a little jingle of sorts when filling up with fuel. The firing sound and the explosion sound of hitting a target all flow together nicely to form a rhythmic tune of sorts. River Raid packs quite a bit of depth for its age. Having to maneuver through enemies along with avoiding the edges of the level while maintaining your fuel supply provides a lot of challenge. The lack of vertical movement and instead managing acceleration and deceleration further separates River Raid from most modern shmups. The levels themselves are not random and always appear in the same order with each playthrough, allowing for a sense of progress and gives you another reason to try and get farther. I'm still not that great at this game, or a lot of Twitch-style 2600 games if I'm honest, but this one has always kept me coming back for more. Even in 2014, the gameplay design feels solid without any real faults to speak of. Overall, this is a quality title for the Atari 2600. It can be found on many compilations for various systems, and River Raid is included on the Atari Flashback 2 console. If you're looking for a good way to get into the 2600, it doesn't get much better than this.